Hello. Welcome to Rainy Day Podfic. I'm your host, Jay, Pan, or Bean, whichever you prefer, or come up with a new name for me and put it down in the comments. Today I will be reading Even the Shadows Can't Hide Me by Orphan Account on AO3. This is part 1 of 4 to the Finding the Way Home series. Technically, the series is on an indefinite hiatus, but, it's also Orphan Account, meaning the author can't access it anymore, so it's essentially over. There aren't really trigger warnings for this one, but you'll see I mentioned how it is a orphan Midoriya Izuku and dead Midoriya Izuku. There will be All Might bashing eventually. On AO3, this is rated because of language used. What the fuck? Okay. Summary. Shouta'd had been working on that mysterious vigilante case for around 2 months now without any major development. The kid, Shouta'd was more than 100% sure he was one, always managed to escape from the scene before the police arrived, and there wasn't even any actual quirk usage on his part to consider him a vigilante. That's why when Shouta'd noticed the kid watching him from the shadows, he couldn't let him get away. Or, Izuku appears in a wrong place at a wrong time. Shouta'd sighs every 2 seconds, and Tsukauchi needs a raise. He realized the child had seen him and he couldn't let him get away, but before Shouta'd could process the whole situation, the kid was gone in the shadows, not even a trace of him left behind. As much as Shouta'd admired the young vigilante's stealth skills, he was a pro underground hero for a reason, and couldn't just let the kid who discovered his home address go easily. Shouta'd ran in the direction of the vigilante, and it took him a good several seconds to notice a movement in the distance. The kid was running on the rooftops, his movements way too sloppy and clumsy to be considered safe. Shouta'd mentally swore and took after him. This very moment, his civilian identity being discovered worried him a bit less than a child vigilante possibly dying while running away from him. The child vigilante, who Shouta'd was watching for the past couple of months, but there was no development on the case as no actual quirk usage had been registered yet. The situation was tricky. He couldn't just call for the kid, it would startle him, but he also needed to acknowledge his presence so the kid wouldn't get scared and, yet again, fall from the fucking roof. The vigilante seemed to slow down a bit, and as Shouta'd got closer, he actually saw the reason for his sloppiness. The kid was limping. Double fuck. He probably got injured while on patrol. The kid finally stopped and basically collapsed on the rooftop, holding onto his definitely injured leg. Kid, are you okay? That was a dumb question, but Shouta'd just needed to get the kid's attention. Vigilante's head snapped at him so fast Shouta'd actually got concerned about his neck. I won't tell anyone, the kid signed with shaking hands and tried to stand. He used JSL, not to let his voice out. Smart kid. You're injured, Shouta'd said as a statement. Kid's knees was clearly not alright, as it bent awkwardly from any attempt to stand, and he had to put all of his weight on the healthy leg. If the kid tried to parkour like this, he would definitely get another injury, and it was in the best case scenario. At least let me get you down. It's too dangerous on your own. Shouta'd couldn't see the kid's face, but he could swear he raised a brow skeptically at that. The vigilante took a defensive pose, clearly telling him not to get any closer. Shouta'd sighed internally. It was going to be a long night. Listen, Shouta'd tried to sound as calm as possible, even though he was on edge already. The kid now knew his home address and real identity, and God knew who he was working for. The kid was also injured and way too vulnerable to continue running or fighting. Shouta'd already felt his headache starting. I'll just help you get to the ground. Your leg seems to be painful. The kid was silent, but his hands twitched, like if he was thinking of a response in sign. I know your identity. Why would you want to help? He was shaking, as if the last bits of energy were leaving him. So you also know I'm a teacher, and it isn't in my principles to leave an injured child alone on a rooftop. The kid flinched at that. Shouta'd probably triggered him somehow. Shit. Kid, Shouta'd said as they finally reached the ground. The vigilante tried to flee away the same second his feet were steady on the ground, but Shouta'd had caught his arm before he could do it. The kid tensed, free hand clenching the medical mask on his face protectively. It's illogical on my part to just let you go, considering that you know my home address now. Before Shouta'd could finish, the kid flinched violently, trying to free from his hold. Such a problem child. At least let me finish before you attempt to run away again. And considering the state of your leg, you won't succeed. Shouta sighed. And this brings us to the only logical outcome. Let me call a friend with a lie detector quirk, and then you're free to go. If you're safe for me. Shouta paused, letting the kid actually think about his options. After a moment of tense silence, he heard a barely audible whisper. Okay. The kid never loosened up, still expecting a betrayal of some sort from the hero. Shouta was perfectly aware of the fact that he should have just got the kid to the police station and let them handle it from here, but something in his gut was screaming at him not to. Maybe it was the Vigilante's eyes and posture, the way he seemed to always be alert and never let his guard down, the way he was too similar to the young Shouta himself. So Shouta fished his phone from his pocket and swore mentally at how late it was. Tsukauchi was going to kill him. Detective, Shouta sounded tired. I need to quickly question one person. Your quirk is required. I guess I don't get to know who you're questioning. The detective sighed, but knew better than trying to force the information out of the hero. They'd been working together long enough to fall into the tandem. They wished to remain anonymous. Shouta's eyes never left the kid, who was now listening attentively to their conversation. We're starting now. Who are you working for? No one. The kid's voice was louder this time, but still too quiet to be recognized later. Smart kid. True. Shouta put his phone on speaker, holding it between them. Are you going to release my personal information or use it to your advantage? No. True. Tsukauchi sounded suspicious. Shouta would definitely need to explain himself later. Triple fuck. Were you stalking me on purpose? The kid seemed a bit offended by this one, and was quick to answer it negatively. After getting detective's confirmation, Shouta continued. And the last one. Are you able to take proper care of your injury? By now the kid looked like a ball of pure tension, and this particular question seemed to really get him. Shouta knew the answer before the kid spoke. Yes. Yes. Lie. The kid flinched. Shouta barely suppressed the urge to sigh. Again. No. He lowered his head, as if ashamed by his lie to the hero, and shifted his weight from one foot to another, hissing quietly when the injured knee responded with pain. Such a problem child. True. Tsukauchi, being the dear friend he was, didn't comment on what was happening. He definitely would demand the proper patrol paperwork later, but it was a problem for the future Shouta. Thanks, detective. Shouta hung up, putting his phone back into his pocket and returning his attention back to the kid who was not so secretly trying to escape. Let's go, problem child. The kid watched him in confusion, his posture still ready to run away the first opportunity he got. Don't look at me like this. Your leg needs treatment, and you already know my address. I suppose you won't go to the hospital, and I can't let you go like this. Plus, I don't think you'll manage to get that far. Shouta stepped closer, inviting the kid to lean on him, which he did after a moment of hesitation. It really was going to be a long night. Alright, so that was it for Even the Shadows Can't Hide Me. Sorry, one second, I'm doing something. So, honestly, real short, real sweet. I do like that one. It's nice. Sorry, I'm doing stuff. I'm distracted. I am always distracted. Am I clear? Yeah. So, it's a very short fic. And honestly, the other parts of this series are also all fairly short, so it's not going to be super long. Let's look here. Let Me Take Care of You, I Promise It Won't Hurt, Part 2, is 1,639 words, one chapter. Lonely But Not Lost, Part 3, is 2,460 words for 2 chapters. And then Part 4, The Price of the Freedom, is 1,783 words in 1 chapter. So again, all very short. But definitely, it's a nice little series. I definitely recommend it if you are able to. Weird. Sorry, I'm still doing other stuff. Yeah, no. Cute, sweet, short, wondrous. Oh, shit. I'm so smart. Sorry, I fucked something. I did not fuck anything. You know what I meant. Yeah, I'll record part 2 maybe when I get home from work. I work again today. It is still December 20th, by the way. I'm just recording a bunch before I have to go to work. And then I'm either going to record more tonight, possibly tomorrow, definitely Monday. I really hope my voice is better by then. But like I mentioned in the last video, that should be going live before this one, I'm debating doing something for Christmas holiday season where I just post a bunch on the 25th. Honestly, I'm debating scheduling Finding the Way Home series to go live like the 24th. If I can record the entire series before then, I might schedule it to go live on the 24th. Oh, where's the Kiryu one? Wait. This is a damn near 9,000 word one shot. Where's the Kiryu one? Where? This one, okay. I'm debating. I have one, in my, too fic tab. Here for You, Emotional Support by Orphan Account. It is a Kiryu fic. Hello, Delilah. Yeah, if you hear, weird noises in the background, it's my cat, I promise. So this one is 8,047 words for 7 chapters. I'm debating just, podficking this entire thing in one run and then releasing it throughout the day on the 21st. I'm thinking one every 3 hours, because if we release one at midnight, and then one at 3 a.m., and then 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 12 a.m., 3 p.m., and then 6 p.m., that would leave me 2 slots for, one-shots, which I think I did that right. I don't know. Yeah, no, it's definitely an option. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do that. We'll see. I make no promises, ever. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a wondrous next 24 hours. Make sure to eat, sleep, drink your water, take your meds, have a, Goodbye.